Good Monday morning to you. Mike here, the Fresh Rinse. Carlton and I are on location here in Monroe, Ohio for part one of 3 of this massive plant wash. Huge project that I'm going to take you for a little tour. I'm not washing this just yet, maybe later. We're going to begin here and work our way westward. Nope, eastward. So don't go anywhere. This should be fun. So as I said, we're going to start on that side, which is facing west. This is north right here. We're going to wash all of this and then wash all of this loading dock as well. Now, let me tell you, this should be the easiest wash of my life because I just washed this entire plant 2 years ago. It's not dirty. And we'll talk more about that here in a moment. One of the unique things about today in this wash is that I now have a GoPro, which allows me to be hands-free for the duration of my wash. And I'm hoping to kind of use that as a format and allow me to do some narrating instead of focusing on the videoing while I'm washing. So I'll wash all of this loading dock, all of this area here that goes around. This is an employee entrance. We'll wash over to this wall, down this wall, all the way the length of that wall, which faces east. There's another employee entrance that circles in there. You may remember that I cleaned the concrete a month or 2 ago. And then all along through here and stop right there. That is staff entrance. And then I will have to wash that along with staff parking on a weekend. So this should be fun. Let's get busy. All right, I hope that this format using the GoPro and then narrating the video is acceptable to you. I appreciate you watching. I'm simply rinsing this window here. I failed to record the soaping of this portion of the building, which is just one small area. I'm just now getting used to the GoPro. I just got it last night, and so I've never operated one before, and it's going to have a little bit of a learning curve. Yes, it's you'll just have to overlook some of my mishaps. Now, this portion of the building is quite interesting. You'll notice that the whole building is partial block, about halfway up, and then it's metal siding from the second half to the top. Now, in this particular portion of the building, the last time I washed, which was 2 years ago, they actually called me and said, "Mike, we're not happy. We need you to come look at something. It's just not right." So when I get there, they show me this portion of the building, which is obviously heavily oxidized. You can see, if you look closely, you can see the variances in the color. And so I literally 2 years ago had to go onto Google Images and find an image of this portion of the building to show them that it was like that before I washed. So a pro tip, always take pictures, especially if there's anything that looks remotely sketchy. Since then, I've washed for them a number of times. In fact, last year, myself along with both of my sons-in-law worked with me to wash 800 barrels, 55-gallon drums. And it was an all-day venture, and it was horrible. And I hope they never ask me to do that ever again. But I've washed for them a number of times. I've cleaned all of the concrete, and then they've called me out just to wash specific portions of the building, and I'm happy to do it. So here I am washing the left side of this particular loading dock. There are a number of loading docks throughout the building, and you'll see those as we move forward in this project. Now, this is phase 1. This video is just phase 1 of the washing. They actually have asked me to break this up into 3 different washes, to be done at 3 different times and to be billed at 3 different times. It has something to do with their budget, and my price exceeded their monthly budget by 3. And so they need me to wash today, a third and then bill them. And then next month, I will wash and bill them for the second third. And then again, in September, I will wash again and bill them for the third wash. And they're such good people. They pay on time, and I have no problem doing that. So to be delayed a little bit in the washing is just not that big of a deal. Good people, and good people to have. Now, someone's going to ask, well, how did you come up with this job? Well, again, it's not a contract so much, but I am their sole pressure washing provider as far as I know. In fact, someone who works there at the plant as one of the managers actually owns a pressure washing company, and in fact is probably my main competitor in this area. In fact, he and I talked a little bit today during the wash. He comes out and watches me wash a little bit. He's a super cool guy. He works at the factory, but he has an employee who does all of his pressure washing for him, and he's been in business for many years. Super cool guy. But I got this job through Facebook. One of my Facebook ads 2 years ago. I think the maintenance supervisor saw my ad on Facebook, called me up, asked if I'd be interested in providing a quote to wash the entire building, and so I did. They were happy with it, and apparently they were happy with my work because they continue to call me back. So if you'd like to see some of my pressure washing ads, you may be interested in purchasing them. I'd be glad to provide those for you. You can text me at 513-235-8474, 513-235-8474. I'll put that in the description of the video. And you can text me. I prefer you text instead of call. And then what I'll do is I will send you a number, maybe 10 or 15 different ads that I produce, as many as you want, and then you can pick 1 or 3 or 6 or 10 or whatever, and then you can use those. And of course, I will modify all of those for you so that they're specific for you and for what you do with all of your information. And I get more than half of my jobs, opportunities as I call them, from Facebook, and so that's a good service for me to offer to you, and be glad to do that for you. So it's 1 for $50 or 3 for $100. So here we are in this courtyard area. I washed the flat work probably 2 months ago. They called me to wash specifically all the flat work in this courtyard. This is where the employees enter and exit. The majority of the employees do. It was unsafe because of how slick that it was. And so I took a few hours on Saturday, and did all the flat work in this area. They were pleased with that. I'm going to see if I can't get them to let me wash the flat area here in this, all the flat work in this courtyard, maybe twice a year for them. So I'm just soaping this down. We'll come back here in a little bit and rinse all of this. It's not terribly dirty. This is an office staff area. I must have rinsed that already because you see me there pressing the soap button on my Flow Pro, which I would be miserable without. Judd West is your man. You can find him at flowpro.solutions. This area here is where the employees come out and hang out, talk on the phone a little bit in their break time. It's tragic, the condition of it, though clean, obviously. That's what I'm doing, but it needs to be painted. I brought that to their attention. They agree. Maybe perhaps someday that they'll do that. This particular wall has the most organic growth that I've seen on the building all day. And again, this is where employees come in and out, and that particular wall is on the north side. It gets 0 sunlight. You can see there how heavy that the organic growth was, and I'm confident that this is where the employees who were complaining about the smell of chlorine, this is where they were smelling it. I had to really douse it on there. It needs to be understood that it's safe, but this area is very enclosed, and it just not going to get a lot of airflow here, and so it's going to have to dry. And tomorrow, chances are, especially after tonight's rain, they will not smell the sodium hypochlorite. All right, I'm coming back on Saturday to wash the staff parking, and parking area, the building around the staff parking area. And so perhaps I'll do a video. So let me show you what we've done. It's hard to see it, but all the way around that corner to that back wall, which goes over through there, you see that equal to that, is what we've done. And all this, of course, back in through that employee entrance. All of this, and then in through this employee entrance, which they call the courtyard. On Saturday, I will come back and finish this, which is staff entrance, goes around and all that staff parking. And all of that will be done on Saturday. All right. Really appreciate you watching. Oh, we need to look at the clock. It is 10:24. 2 hours and 24 minutes. All right, Mike, the fresh rinse, and I'm out.